Hey everyone, my name's Kelvin and welcome to my video tutorial for the Watercolor for Procreate add-on. This is an add-on for your iPad for the Procreate app that will let you paint watercolor just like in real life. It's very realistic, it's a really cool add-on, and it's probably my favorite thing to do with Procreate right now. So the first thing you want to do is download the file to your iPad, and you can do that by going to Safari and just going to whatever website you bought the add-on on, logging in, going to your purchases page and just downloading it that way. And after it's totally downloaded, you can go to your file browser. Just click that to open that one up. And you want to make sure you go to your On My iPad section, and then you can find the file you downloaded in your downloads folder. And it's a zip file. And to unzip it, you just got to click it and it will automatically unzip it. But there's a possible issue you could run into, and I did get a lot of questions about this. If you go to your recents, this little tab down here, and you see the zip folder, it won't unzip. For some reason, when you're in your recent area here, you click zips, nothing happens. So make sure you go to browse, make sure you go to the On My iPad section, and then you can find it in any of these folders, most likely in the downloads folder. Just click it once and then it will automatically unzip it. So let's go into that folder. And this add-on comes with a template and brushes. And you need to use both of them together for this to work properly. So let's open the template first, and you can just click on it here and it will automatically import it into Procreate. If it doesn't import into Procreate, if it throws some kind of warning, it's possible that your iPad doesn't have enough RAM to hold this document. So it'll usually throw a warning like this file is not capable for this device or something like that. But in that case, just go to the README folder. I'll show it to you here. Just go to the files. It's this README one. And that's going to have a link to a smaller size. It's not in this version for this tutorial, but I'll add a link to a Dropbox, and you can go in there and try some of the other sizes. And usually the 3000 pix one will work just fine. Also, there's an even smaller one, a 2000 pixel one that will work fine as well. So let's go back here. And after the template's open, we need to open the brushes. So just go back to this folder we unzipped and just tap on the brushes, and that'll import into Procreate. And now we've got everything loaded in, but Procreate will open to your last document. So what you need to do is go back to your gallery and then look for the new one here. So this is the template. Let's open that up. And then we've already loaded the brushes. You can find those by going to the brush panel, and they're going to show up at the very top here. You can just click those and open up these watercolor brushes. And these will only work properly inside this template. So we can go to the layers panel and open it up and make sure you paint on any of these layers down here. You can add as many as you want. You just duplicate them to create more. But as long as it's under here, it'll have the right texture. But if you accidentally make a layer up here and paint on that, it won't have the texture. So make sure you do it underneath the texture. So let's hide the default one here. And I'm going to paint a quick flower, and then I'll show you some of the other features that this add-on has. Okay, so to paint a flower, I'm going to go to the brush panel, and I'm going to select the abstract round brush. That's my favorite one. Go over and make sure that the opacity is set all the way up. It doesn't really change much up or down, but it's better to have it all the way up. And then set the size to something that fits your project, something like that. And then we'll choose a good kind of flower color. Something that's dark enough that we can see it in the video here. It's good. I'll zoom in. And I'm just going to start by, whoops, cancel. So it looks like, yeah, I had the default image selected here. So make sure that one of the visible layers is selected, and then you can paint on that one. So I'm just going to start by pressing very lightly, and then I'll press harder, and then light again, and go like that. And that's how you can make a kind of a flower petal. So I recommend sketching your designs first, but this is just a quick tutorial, so I'm going to freehand this one, so it won't be perfect. Okay. And one thing I like about watercolor is you don't have to be perfect, actually. You can get away with a lot and it looks fine. So watercolor in real life, when you do multiple layers, like you do watercolor on top of something that was previously watercolor, it'll get darker. But if your colors are wet, it'll also blend. So since Procreate can't do that, I created a tool that kind of synthesizes the effect of the water blending. So you can find that one by going to your brush panel, and it's at the very bottom. It's called the Water Blender. Just click that one, And let's choose a size that will fit. There we go. If you accidentally go on the edge here, it'll just sort of fade it off like that. So I'm going to try to avoid the edges, and I'm just going to blend in some of these darker areas, as if I was painting this flower pretty wet and I did some darker colors on top and just kind of let it naturally flow. You can leave some hard edges. Real watercolor in real life still has that. There we go. And if you accidentally go over an edge, but you don't want to undo it, I mean, you can just leave it like this, it's fine. Or you can just grab the eraser tool, make a really small size, and you can just erase it like that. So let's zoom back out here. Now I'm going to make another layer on top of it, and I'm going to add some detail. So let's choose a darker color. And again, I've pretty much only used the water blender brush, and now I'm going to use the abstract round brush again. You'll find you don't need 1,000 brushes. A lot of watercolor kits have so many brushes, but I don't think that's a good feature because in watercolor in real life, it should be simple or it's not fun. So most of the time I just use 2 of these brushes, even though there's 9 of them in total. So let's use the abstract round one, but real small this time. And I've got a darker color, maybe even darker yet. And I'm on another layer above, just in case I want to edit this. And we can just do some lines like that, something simple. Maybe some dots. Okay, maybe choose a little bit of a darker color. I just want to make it look sort of random and as natural as possible. Now I'll grab the blending tool, and I just want to make this a little bit blended. And I'm happy with that. So let's zoom out here a little bit. Now there's a trick to this. If you select the flower petals, you can actually give this a sort of natural color variation. So go to the selection tool, go to freehand, just draw a selection box that sort of randomly covers different parts of the flower, and then go to feather, and this will sort of blur the edges of that selection. So we'll blur it like that. And then I'll go to the magic wand here and go to hue, saturation, and brightness. And if I slide this hue slider, it's sort of like I can fade in maybe some complementary colors, because when you paint with Procreate, it's going to be exactly the color you choose. But in real life with watercolor, there's some variations, the colors will kind of separate. So using the selection tool and then the hue slider is a way to kind of sort of synthesize this look. So there we go. Also with watercolor, you might find certain areas are lighter than other areas. So I'm going to do a kind of donut-shaped selection here. I'll go to the feather it out like that. Same thing, hue, saturation, and brightness. And then I can erase the brightness to make it a little bit softer in that area, and then lower the saturation. And it's okay just to do little subtle things like this. And that's pretty good. I think I'm happy with this design. Now, another feature I want to show you is if you're creating watercolor paintings that you want to isolate. It's hard to see on this video, but see in this white area here, it has this like subtle texture. If you want to sell your watercolor drawings as stock photos or something like that, you're going to need to hide that so your watercolor is still on a white background. So what you can do is go to the layers panel, open up the watercolor texture group here by clicking that little arrow. You can have the paper background on and you can see it there, or you can turn off that and turn on the no background option and just have a pure white background. And this makes it handy if you want to export these. Maybe you want to isolate them, give them a transparent background, and sell them as stock photos or something like that. So hopefully this is a pretty quick tutorial, pretty simple. Let me know if maybe something doesn't make sense. You can leave a comment on this video, or in that README file, there's my email address. You can send me an email directly, and I can usually respond like in a day or so. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for your support, and thanks for watching.